Real talk, real people.
You sure y'all ready for this?
We talk about stuff that y'all whisper about.
Tune in, turn it up, sit back and vibe. Like, subscribe, haha, that's right, they live. Wait again a minute, they gon' blow your mind. And when the show over, you can press rewind.
Wait again a minute, wave your hands with it.
Now tune into another episode of Wait a Gam Minute Podcast. I am Gam, and of course I got my sidekick, my co-host,
Mz Gogetta.
Wait, why did you pause
See
like
what
that?
I'm saying? You're not consistent.
Why?
Now you calling me again. Just the other episode, you called me. You didn't even say your sidekick. You just said, I got my co-host. Now, this episode, you saying your sidekick.
Right, but you know why I said it, all right? Because
To irritate me. Because that's a
Absolutely.
toxic trait of yours.
and it's a damn shame. Here we go, starting off already on this good here Wait a Gam Minute episode. So how was your weekend, ma'am?
It was good. It was good. Nice and chill. My weekend's been nice and chill here lately. That's
know.
it. Not a lot going on.
That's good because the older we get, that's what we need. You know, we need that nice chill type
wanna sit
atmosphere.
back
You know,
and
just
just
chill,
chill.
twiddle your toes, and have fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know about twiddle
What?
your toes and have fun. But
Oh, well,
yeah.
I twiddle my toes.
You know, twiddle your toes and watch TV. That's what I do.
See,
I mean, I'm not
what we're
really
not
having
gonna do
fun
is
when I twiddle my toes.
downplay me twiddling my damn toes. We not gonna do that
Yeah.
because I live for it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's occasional for me. But
Okay.
it's needed. It's
understood.
needed.
Understood. So we have two special young ladies with us this evening. We're not even gonna hold y'all long. So, but before we ask you guys to introduce yourself, how was your weekend?
It was good.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, very restful.
Very cold.
Very
Cold?
cold.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very
yeah.
cold.
Yeah, definitely.
But it definitely good weekend. Though. Very good weekend.
Chill.
Another weekend, no
your mic.
snow.
Cause you, now this hair was not on this mic before you came in here. Now,
I got locked.
oh, I can't even put it on you.
You know
Damn.
what I mean? I got-
Dang, I can't even put it.
That look real European.
Right,
You know what
right,
I mean?
That's
I
absolutely
got
true.
a good 4C.
That's absolutely true. I can't even put it on you. So please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners of Wait a Gam Minute. We can start with you first, madam.
Peace, everyone. My name is Latonya Denson. I also go by Abyss. I am the executive director of Abu Unity Incorporated. We're based out of Newport News, Virginia. We're a nonprofit that serves youth and young adults and encourage them to stray away from violent behavior or negative activities. So, yeah, that's me.
And hello, everyone. My name is Kaaleah Jones, and I am the Deputy Director of Abu Unity Incorporated. I'm not going to go over the spiel because she kind of summed it up, but I support her in any capacity that I can doing the work.
Right. So what? Pronounce it again. Abu.
Abu, A-B-U.
Abu.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Abu. What does that stand for?
Abu is her father. We lost him in 2003 to gun violence out Ridley Circle in Newport News. So Abu was his rap name. So
Okay.
the organization is named after him.
Okay. So give us a little bit of brief history, like on Mr. Abu. Like, what? First of all, before you get into what happened, what type of guy was he?
Intelligent, wise beyond his years, creative, an artist in the truest sense of an artist. He not only did hip hop, he was a rap artist, but he also drew.
Okay.
Exceptional artist. He loved reading. He loved giving back to his community, pouring back, giving back to the kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs, at the Moton Community House. He was always there for his family and friends. The jokester, funny, you know.
Right.
I knew every line to every culturally relevant movie during the time. Man, the life of the party. I mean, funny. He have you laughing at yourself so hard, you forget he's talking about you.
Yeah.
But he was just that type.
Right.
So when you reflect, half the time you reflected on him joning you or, getting on you. But above it all, supreme intelligence. Like, oh man, like my best friend. Miss him a lot.
Yeah. Wow. So what happened to him, and then we'll kind of get into how you guys, got into what you're doing now.
Again, name Abu, but his government name is Quincy Jones. And just like the name,
The
he was
Quincy Jones.
yeah, like the Quincy Jones, Newport News, Ridley Circle to be exact, Taylor Ave. He was just a staple in his community. Always represented his city. Always represented his neighborhood, and his people everywhere he went. Super talented when it came to the mic skills. His flow is still relevant to this day. Like, you could put one of his 1999 flows against an artist now, and it'll be still comparable to this day. But the day we lost him, it was December 16th, 2003, and he was waiting for a cab, leaving his grandmother's area, waiting on the cab, and standing talking with somebody, and a bullet that wasn't meant for him took him from us. One bullet took him from us that night. Yeah, and I never forget. I got the knock at the door around 2 a.m, and not knowing what was going on. I was 25 at the time, so not knowing what was going on, I just heard the radio on the other side of the door with my name being mentioned, and I finally opened the door and saw the detectives in their button downs, and so I was like, I still didn't think death or anything like that. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? So in my head, I'm like, what's going on? So they asked me preliminary questions. How did I know Quincy, and what was my relationship to him, and did I know him to have any problems and things of that nature? And then that's when they slid the driver's license across the table, asked me to identify him. Is that him? And I identified him, and then that's when they told me he succumbed to his injuries and everything. Yeah, it didn't hit me. First hearing it all, it didn't hit me for real. Because again, I was 25 and I was young. She was a year old at that time. So, but when I called his mother, and had to tell his mother and his aunt, that's his mother's only child. She was, and hearing her cry, that's something you never unhear.
Right.
You know,
So
like-
you still hear it.
Like, to this day, it's been, this young lady's about to be 24. It's been almost 23 years and you still hear it. Like, like you would never unhear it. Like, I see the detectives. I smell. You would never unsee or unlive that experience. So when they talk about trauma, for those who survive, lose loved ones, yeah, it's real. So doing something with it was imperative.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why
sure, yeah.
I formed Abu Unity Foundation. Started as a once-a-year festival. I'm a rapper too, so playing into our art and everything. So started as a once-a-year music festival, evolved into mentorship, involved into advocacy and policy and legislation, then later involved into subject matter expertise and community violence intervention prevention type of programming, constantly evolving.
Right.
Changing to the needs of the community when it comes to violence, because violence isn't static, it's dynamic.
So how important is it, or was it important for you to start this? Like, I know that you were affected by it, but you saw the need, 23, 24 years ago to start this program. Why did you feel the need to do that?
Because the young lady to my right, not wanting to raise her just to think of her father in death, but wanted her to think of him in life, trying to find something that I knew how to do, and create something positive out of it, something purposeful out of it, do something with the pain, because I didn't know what to do with it, because again, I was 25, but by the time I got the strength enough and the fortitude enough to get the organization going, it was 3 years later.
Okay.
So I was 28, a little bit more mature, lived a little longer.
Right.
And then one day I was cleaning up the house, and she was 4, and she was in her room, and she was just spitting one of my rhymes, and they didn't have the best lyrics. You know
Right.
what I mean? You know what I mean? And she was just going in, you know, puff and just cheeks and just curse words. So I'm like, oh, yo, hold on. So I realized she's paying attention. Another reason I wanted to create something intentional so she can remember her father in a positive light, because I didn't know what to do to fill that gap. And then thinking about his mother, and that's her only child. Like, I don't know what it is to lose a child. You know, I lost the love of my life, but I didn't lose my child. You know what I mean? I can marry again.
Right.
You can't get another child.
Right.
So trying to find something positive, not only for myself, but that can benefit the ones that love and care for Abu as well.
Wow. So how does that make you feel listening to your mom say that, you know, you were young when it happened and she didn't know basically how to fill this void, you know, how to pivot from such a, I mean, I can't even find a word because I'm sitting here like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It definitely, it always has, but it definitely cements the strength that she has, especially now that I'm rounding up on the age that she was when she lost. To think of having a child, being in love, finding the love of your life, and then losing the love of your life, and still having to be some semblance of a person while raising another person and juggling all those things. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine, and she my mom. So
Right.
It definitely gives me insight to her strength, but it also serves as constant inspiration and motivation to continue on going, especially when work or life gets hard. Like, there's something tangible, there's something large, it's a movement in essence that is based off of me and the legacy that I am tasked to uphold. So it's definitely something that keeps me going, keeps me waking up in the morning, and I'm eternally grateful for her fortitude, because again, I couldn't imagine. Definitely couldn't imagine at these ages.
So do you remember your dad?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Especially not now. I remember when I was younger, I used to have dreams of like what he looked like, and never what he sounded like, but like what he looked like and him coming back. But as I got older, those memories started to fade because of how young I was. So now most of what I have is based off of pictures, and then because he was a rapper, thank God, and you know, videos weren't as prevalent as they were back then. Like, now I have essentially what he sounds like. Everybody say he talked just like how he raps.
Yes,
So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so
Sound
now,
just like how he talk.
so now I know like he sounds like. So yeah, pictures and videos. Pictures and like his recordings is really all I have now.
Wow. So Abyss, you've been doing this line of work now for how long, you said?
This year be 20.
20 years.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine
No.
it being to what it is now?
What? No. We got banned from all the parks in the city of Newport News. So we first started out. Shout out to Double XL.
Why y'all get a band?
Yo, cause we threw the first Abu Unity Fest, you know. You know, shout out to Mastermind Entertainment, Hood Platinum Entertainment, Born Natural, Seven Arms, Official Block Bangers. But all of us tore that park up. It was like, it was a lot of paraphernalia left behind.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, it was a whole bunch of young energy. You know, coming, convening in the park, trying to do something positive, and we were all positive. No fights broke out. No negativity broke out. But we did what the culture does. You know, you know, we left it behind. You know, and man, by that next week, by that Monday morning, we got the notification that we had to meet with Parks and Rec, and they were about to do a ban on us indefinitely. And so me and my bro, Principal Finner, Double XL, we suited up and we went down and we we pleaded our case. Like, hold on, give us another shot. You know, we gonna hold our peoples accountable. We gonna be more responsible. And
Right.
then after that, city had no more issues with us. We just needed one time, and but we kept going. But even starting out that way, you know, using music, because music for me at that time, I released some of my best projects during my grieving period.
Yes.
You know, as an independent artist. It was almost like Mary J. Blige when she was grieving her relationship. She had the dopest album.
Yeah.
That's how I felt on the in the
That's
indie.
why I was
like,
quoting them at 4.
yeah, she was quoting my pain at 4. But yeah, having that gift. So of course, the path I took was to use my art to try to stop the violence and get the message out. But then I just realized once a year wasn't enough for the people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when they leave, they're going back to their reality.
Right.
Whatever that looked like. So that I connected with some other organizations, learned the mentorship process, how to be a mentor, or really understand that what I was doing was mentorship. Because sometimes we do things and don't know the label.
Don't realize
You
that's
know?
what you're doing, right?
Exactly, until you get around people that know what they're doing.
Right.
And you get coached up and everything. So I had a lot of dope coaches along the way. Even people that I didn't know they was coaching me. Because I get around people and I pay attention. If I want to start a podcast, I'll get around you, Gam, and I'll be paying attention.
Right.
Quiet as kept. But learning, you know, and making it my own. And that's what I did with this type of work, evolve. And then when we got on the state level, that's when we got into policy,
Yep.
trying to write legislation that
Right.
benefits our community. But when we got into it, we started realizing that a lot of legislation that's written up really don't benefit our community.
Right.
as a whole.
Right.
You know, it'll lock us up.
Yeah.
But it don't,
Right.
you know, it don't,
Right, it don't help you
protect
grow.
us. Or
Right.
and keep our rights in line. So it's like, and when it comes to gun violence and stopping the violence and things of that nature, a lot of times people want to write legislation thinking that a whole bunch of gun laws is going to stop the violence. But criminals don't follow the law, so
Right,
So
yeah.
it don't apply to them.
it don't apply to the criminal. So it's like, the legislation can do something, but until you get to the root causes and start
Right.
treating it like a public health issue that it is, you're never going to really fully resolve everyday community and
Right.
gun violence. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of the work that we do with our organization and a lot of the partner organizations, we take a public health approach
Right.
to doing the work.
Right. Which that's a key word, public health. Which, you know, when you came and talked to us last week, we didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that it is more effective. It can be effective once everybody know what they're doing.
That part.
Yeah, because the thing
Everybody
like
know
we
they
be out
lane.
here, we be out here moving and shaking and moving. It's like
We bumping into each
yeah,
other.
we're shaking
you
and
know?
moving. We don't know what the hell going on.
Yeah, facts.
But we're working, and we're working from the heart. So
And
we're
then we
really
exhaust
sincere.
ourselves,
Yeah,
too.
Right,
absolutely.
exactly.
Because we're trying to carry on too many things.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. So, being that you've been doing this over 20 years, what are some of the challenges that you guys may have had, like from when you started to like now, are you able to see from whence you've come?
Yeah. You want to?
Yeah, I can speak on some of the challenges, especially coming from a young person growing up in the work. One of the biggest challenges I know when we first started was paving a lane in an already established space. Like she said, gun violence prevention wasn't anything new when we got in this space, especially on a statewide level. But what it looked like to be culturally competent in that space was not heard of. For it to look more diversified and not just to one target population of people. So trying to find our lane in what gun violence prevention looked like was a definite challenge. And then once we found our lane, transitioning the language from being public safety heavy to public health heavy was also tough, because at first everything was reactive. So after the gunshot,
Right.
after the bullet,
Exactly.
what are we going to do? And by that time, it's too late.
Exactly.
People are already
Exactly.
traumatized, families are already broken. So public safety is very enforcement heavy, and enforcement, everything is after the fact. So we started looking at what can we do before somebody picks
That's
up
right.
a gun, and how we can stop legislating an object and start healing the people. And so we started looking at root causes and treating it like a disease, like a disease of the mind, like what
Right,
makes
a
people
mental
want
health
to,
issue.
Yeah.
what makes people want to be violent, what makes somebody want to take another life, what makes you devalue a life so much that you feel like you can take it. Getting into the mindset of people, and with that we started looking at, it's food deserts, people are hungry, it's clothing deficits, people don't have proper clothing, people don't have proper housing.
Right.
Proper money to obtain those things.
Yes,
That part.
money,
Income.
workforce development. A lot of people came into the community with deficits. They didn't know how to interview properly, so they couldn't keep a job. They were facing their own mental health, so they couldn't keep a job. They're returning citizens, so they couldn't get a job because
Right.
they had that stamp on them. And so we were looking at all these root causes, and we were like, it's not the gun, it's the
It's the
people.
people.
Yeah,
People,
it's,
yeah,
it's
right.
broken
Gotta
people.
heal 'em.
Right.
And so that was a big challenge, and then also being women in the work was a huge challenge.
Oh, yeah,
just
I'm
like
sure,
with
yeah.
everything, it's a male-dominated field.
It
because
is.
a lot of men are victims or are in spaces of like legislators and stuff to help the problem. But as with a lot of movements, women were the backbone. They were the executives that were making sure everything ran the way that it needs to do. So making sure that the women in the work were getting the same respect and carving a way out for women, and then funding, making sure we have funding to
Right.
make everything go. Everything was coming out of pocket for a very long time.
long time.
A very long time.
Yeah.
So making the work valuable enough for people to want to invest in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were some of our biggest, especially on the onset of like the work was.
Yeah, you covered
Right.
majority of it.
Yeah.
And then back office, nonprofit infrastructure development. Just like we're running small businesses, you know what I mean? A lot of people complain that a lot of black owned businesses, they won't take the time to get the back office, the back end strong and structured and everything. Busy putting out a product, busy selling something. But a lot of times we're so busy in the nonprofit space doing the work because we're used to doing the work. We're used to having to heal each other. We're used to having to show up for each other. So a lot of nonprofits, we on the ground, we doing the work, but we're not doing the fiscal management. We're not doing the data management. We're not doing the human resources processes and policies and separation of duties and making sure that your infrastructure for your operations is in order. So that was a learning curve because I went from execution to being strategic, intentional, and then execute.
And that was by trial and error.
Yes, a lot of it, yes.
So listening
Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings.
Exactly. Yeah.
which is always good.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when we're going through it, like you say, you're shaking and moving, you don't realize it. But now that you're in a position where you can help other people,
Yes.
it's like cut that time in half.
Peace. That I love that. Like I love being able to share a jewel. For the longest, people like to hoard jewels. They
Yeah.
want to keep it for themselves.
Right.
They don't want to. It's okay. You can
Wanna
give it
gatekeep.
out. Yeah, they want to gatekeep. It's like then it's like no, we want to break the gates down. Then you build a new gates after you break the original gates down. People build new gates, but nah, it's enough work. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
when it comes to violence prevention,
It's
and
a lot
violence
of work.
It's a lot of work.
And that's the thing. You have more work than you actually have people out there helping. So
That
you do
part.
need to actually train and share some of the jewels with other people so they can get out there and help.
Yes.
Get out there and help. Many hands make light work.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the saying. So and then many people, I love not having to do everything.
Yeah.
As black women, oftentimes we wear so many hats.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we love when we get help. We love when somebody come into our life and take a piece of that load off and lighten that weight. And it's the same with us in this space. Because again, when we first got into the gun violence prevention space, it wasn't our culture really being represented in a lot of the legislative rooms and things of that nature. So it was lonely. You'd be like, only two black. And then her being so young, because, she 23, but
At
she
the
was
time,
10.
I was about to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was 10, and
Really? So she was in the rooms with you at 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10, 11, 12, and I'm in there ushering in a new way of thinking. So
Wow.
it was hard. It was definitely a challenge because like she lifted up, like it wasn't representative of us, and a lot of the things that they were advocating for were the more sensationalized acts of gun violence. So like school shootings, that's when
mass
like Sandy
shootings.
Hook and everything was
Right.
popping off, and those mass shootings, and that's not what was happening in Newport News
No.
or the
Right,
7
right.
cities in general. School shootings wasn't the thing. It was daily homicide. Like people cousins dying yesterday and best friends. You're losing somebody every single day, not 10 people all at once. We lose 10 people in a week.
Yeah.
And for 4 weeks in a month, that's 40 people. Like we're
Right.
losing more. And
Right.
so looking at how to advocate for the fact that we are dying at an exponentially higher rate, but also not criminalizing the people doing it. Like, yes, it's a problem, but a lot of it is rooted in something deeper than them just being an evil person wanting to take a life. Like in their mind, it was justified. So trying to hear about those layers and making sure we weren't causing further harm, like she said, with legislation, and having them giving like football numbers for gun violence
Daggone right,
offenses.
yeah.
I
Right.
mean, football.
Yeah.
Football numbers.
And talking about not only football numbers, you talking about lineman football numbers, like
Yeah,
big
yeah.
numbers, like they on the line. Yeah.
With the broad
Yeah.
shoulders. No, that's real.
They won't get like no 7 and 2
No.
like that. No, they were getting like 84
Yeah.
and 50 something. Yeah, they
Yeah.
get on the big man numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of them were behaving in that manner because of trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
And instead of the trauma being identified and treated as such, they were labeled super predators back in the day. Because that was late 90s, early 2000s. That a lot of the guys that's coming home now, 20 plus years later, they were locked up. And now that we have this knowledge, now that we know why someone would want to take a life and have no regard afterwards, it's because you're desensitized to the act itself. We can treat it, we can begin healing what's broken, repairing what's broken. And another thing I wanted to mention that we learned along the way was data. The importance of data. Oftentimes data when it came to crime stats and violence statistics is negative when it
Right.
comes to us.
Never
Right.
worked in
Yeah.
our favor.
It's always painting some type of negative
Right.
picture. But learning the data that tells the story of what's really happening to us and how it's happening. Because, let's talk about numbers. All right, so for the city of Newport News, 2025, we had 18 homicides. That's a huge reduction. Because in 2023, I think we had 45.
Yep.
So in 2025, we have 18. That's a
Right.
huge
Yeah,
reduction.
something is working.
Almost 70% reduction. So something's working.
Yes.
And one of the things is, we have a chief that lifts up community when it comes to law enforcement and everything. But we also have a lot of community-based organizations that's on the ground front line that works together and doing the work to assist after the yellow tape is gone, after the sirens leave, and those families got to deal with the trauma and the pain that's left behind.
Right.
But yeah, we got 18, but out of the 18, over 74% is gun related. Then out of the 18, over 47% is young people, black, under the age of 25. Those are huge percentages of that number that is being celebrated. So we got to understand the deeper context behind the numbers and what the trauma really is that's not really being addressed when we have those type of reductions. And we want to look at demographics as well.
Right. So what are one of the misconceptions that people have when it comes to intervention and prevention of gun violence? Like, the people be like, so far, be like, what the hell you get that from? Like, we do that. We don't do that. Like,
So prevention and intervention they lump them together.
Yes, and it's not the same thing.
It's not one thing. Like it's
Okay.
not synonymous.
Okay.
You know, you can't interchange those words.
Right.
You know, prevention is that. It's pre. It's before. Before somebody gets involved in violent activity, you're going to prevent the behavior from taking
Right.
root. And so prevention, you can't even measure that until long term, like years later. So if Johnny comes into the program in 2021, and then by 2025, did he graduate high school? Did he graduate from the program? Do he have a job? So you can measure the prevention.
Right.
Or did Johnny fall off and get involved in the streets in 2023? That's when intervention come in. So if prevention don't work and Johnny gets into the streets in 2023 and we catch him in the midst of either committing a violent act or causing harm to somebody, and then say that he causes harm to somebody, and then go to court, and the judge recommends he's diverted to our program, our violence intervention program, we will bring him in as a participant, do his intake, get him a individual success plan, and begin creating goals for him, so that either by the time he returns, he'll be ready to acclimate socially, and he'll be able to be on a better path. Intervention is like de-escalation, mediation of conflict. It's like restorative justice. It's intervening in the midst of a violent act when something is taking place in the midst of it all. And prevention isn't that.
Yeah.
Prevention is like a lot of resources, because prevention work can also be the stabilizing
Yes.
resources that come with intervention.
Yeah, the crisis stabilization resources. So, people who do food pantries, people who deliver food boxes, people who do transitional housing for young people or young adults. When people are displaced and they need another place to stay because their current environment is too hectic or is a trigger for them. Mentor programs, workforce development programs, helping people with their job readiness skills, adult education programs, helping people get their GED, and reacclimation and resocialization services.
Yep.
So people who are in the streets or street involved, helping them to get back into more communal spaces, helping them to reacclimate to school environments, because a lot of times those environments around different groups of people or a lot of people all at once can be re-triggering for people who stepped away from that. So just a lot of those stabilization services and those services that help to recalibrate mindsets are a lot of the prevention type work. Another misconception is the value that youth play in the work. I feel like a lot of people use youth for the aesthetic of it, like being around people make it look like you're doing something. The pictures, and,
That's true.
you know, but they never take into consideration the value that young people can bring in their experience and what they've been through, and how what they've been through can help them to shape solutions for their own generation. I think especially nowadays, because our generation is so different, especially with the introduction of technology and social media.
Listen, hurts about our generation. It's so different. You are young jitterbug.
But our generation is different,
Right.
especially growing up traditionally, because my mom and my grandma, they was traditional. Like,
They ain't play.
Super
they ain't play.
traditional.
They didn't play. They did not play at all. Waking up, watching soap operas with my great grandma and stuff like that. Just seeing how different things were, how much we don't go outside, how much our friend groups and things are based on social media. We don't have a lot of in-person friends. A lot of our friends be online. We got friends all in Hampton. We got more friends in Hampton than we do in Newport News. And,
Right.
seeing how our anger and aggression and how we handle things is way different. Like, we don't care. Like, them kids don't care. And it's not because we weren't growing up in loving environments. Some people did, some people didn't. But a lot of it is because social media taught us not to care. Like, you care too much about what other people think, they get on you. Like, or you care too much about what other people think, they see it as a weakness, or they see it as a deficit that they can exploit. So
Right.
That's
just
social
all
media.
those things that culminate into what we are today, it takes a different approach than how things were built up back in the day. Having an empty police car in front of a place where youth congregate don't work no more. Like,
Right,
somebody
yeah.
take a picture of that empty police car and be like, ain't nobody in there, we can still do whatever the case may be. Or the respect for authority that isn't your parents. It ain't
Yeah.
the same no more.
Yeah.
Somebody
Right.
else,
That's absolutely
mama,
true.
somebody
Definitely
else,
changed.
mama coming
Right.
to you isn't the same. Like, who is you? Like,
Yeah.
They ready to fight the other mother.
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
So,
That's absolutely it.
Yeah,
But
it's
listening to your daughter speak, what? I mean, I'm getting chill bumps. You look down, I'm looking down like,
yeah, I
Like,
be,
right. It's
like,
like
she
she
I be in
sounds
the
so
audience
mature.
with y'all. Like I be in awe. Like y'all be in awe. I be like, yo, I be in the car like you was spitting. Like, I call her an MC in her own right. She be spitting bars.
because I didn't get the rapping gene like
Nah,
that.
she didn't.
Yeah.
I tried it. You
Yeah.
know, I pinned a couple of joints. She won't feeling it. But no, highly impressed. You know, and it just came from just intentional work and how I showed up because
Man,
I didn't Joe Jackson her. Like I didn't
Yeah.
whip it into her.
that's
you know
another
what I mean?
misconception.
yeah.
That's another
Like,
misconception.
People think it's like I'm forcing her to be community and this, that, and the other. It's like
It
when
might
she-
have been just her purpose.
no,
Yeah.
and I agree with that. You
Yeah.
know, I started doing check-ins when she started hitting like puberty. You know, adolescent. And, like, you still want to do this? Is this something you want to do? You know, you having fun? You know, I don't
Yeah.
want it to be something that you forced to do.
And
Right.
don't
And
like.
yeah. So all the way up until she graduated, it was when she graduated that she was like, "Yeah, I want to chill. I want to pause," because she was going away to college.
Yeah.
So she paused. You know what I mean, for her 4 years in college. I was devastated,
Yeah.
but because that was my first time doing the work without her. Like,
Right.
and people don't talk about that, like how much your kids heal you. You know what I mean? And how much.
So you like kind of like leaned on her a lot
What?
from the time she lost. You lost,
What?
you know, your husband and she lost her
What?
dad. You leaned on her.
I leaned and rocked with it.
So
Yeah.
therefore, when,
Yeah.
so therefore, when
Yeah.
she left, it seemed like somebody removed that crutch,
What?
and you had to stand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I had to stand on my own. She was a big grown adult. About my baby.
Yeah, right.
But no, that's real because my reality was painted in a picture of her.
Yeah.
Constantly right there. Like
yeah.
it was
we
just
like
her.
this.
Like,
Like,
yeah,
you know,
like your best friend, y'all going to different universities, different paths, and
Yeah, but that break really cemented the fact that that was my purpose because I was missing work bad. I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I doing?
yeah.
But like she said, a lot of people used to think that she was Joe Jackson and me to the fullest extent. They thought I was in there locked in a room and I had
Well,
my
you
own
didn't.
team
You
out.
didn't want to go to the General Assembly. You didn't want to go and sit out there in the park and all
for
that.
But what people failed to realize was that the work was socializing me with a lot of kids that I would not have came in contact
Right.
with without the work. So
Talk
to
about
me, I was like, every bus trip, we waking up 4 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'm 13, and I had school all week, and that is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But when
That
we get
was
on the
super
bus
crazy.
trip, it's other 13, 14, 15-year-olds from all different cities on the bus. We meeting new people. We going to get McDonald's. We just like, it's like socializing. So the work was kind of like fun. Like we holding up posters, but I'm meeting all these new people. We traveling to different places. Like I'm going to Purdue University at 16. Like
Right.
Speak on a panel.
like it was like
Wow.
I'm speaking at universities as a teenager, and like the mayor knows who I am, and the delegates know who I am. Like I feel like a little big deal. you
Yeah,
know?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We speaking at convention centers and stuff. So yeah, it seemed like work, but on the flip side, it was a lot of fun because like we got to do things that a lot of kids our age won't doing.
Outside of social media. and
Outside of
stuff.
social media and outside of school, like all of my accolades weren't tied to school. Like I wasn't somebody that could peak in high school because everything I did was outside of school. So it gave me a lot of identity outside of it. And when I left, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get this break. I'm gonna get to live like a regular young adult. Like I'm ready." I was
Till you
outside.
realize
I
that-
went all the way to Atlanta. Like I was gone.
I was gone.
I was gone. But then I got to Atlanta. I was like, "This is boring." Like,
For
like,
real.
And it all happened during the pandemic.
it,
Too.
so
Okay.
it was
So-
extra boring. I graduated high school in 2020, so when I went
Okay.
down to school, everything was still kind of shut down. But even if it was lit, because when I got to, I transferred schools. I went to Virginia State,
Yeah.
graduated
Okay.
from Virginia State. Even when I got there, outside was open, but it was still like what's that filler? Because, clubbing and partying, it gets to a point. Like,
Yeah,
there's only
it's
so
like-
much
it's the
that you
same.
can do before
Yeah.
it start getting redundant. So I'm like, okay, where's the purpose? Like, what are we doing? And so when I graduated, I dove head first right back into work because it gave me that sense of purpose, that sense of, like, this is where I really affect people. This is how I can change the world in my own little way.
So
Right.
therefore, when you graduated, and I know with the now when you graduate, you have to do like community service type stuff.
Yep.
You had a whole resume full of community
yeah.
service.
I went to Heritage, and I was in their university magnet program
Okay.
in high school. And to get the magnet seal, you had to have like 200 hours of community service like that. I was done with that my freshman year. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
done. And even in school, for certain clubs and organizations in college, you have to have a certain amount of community service hours. I was hitting them Jones remote, like doing
Yeah.
these panels, having people sign off. So it was just, even when I went to a different state, it was easy for me to find organizations that aligned with me because I knew what I liked. I knew I liked advocacy work, policy work. So I knew where to align myself. So it definitely helped to shape where I went and
Right.
what I fit into.
So how important is it for the youth to get involved in advocacy and things that you're actually doing now?
Paramount. Like, you cannot have any type of movement without youth in it. Like, you can't call yourself a community violence intervention or prevention organization and not have youth at the table. Not just as participants, but like as a part of your executive team to inform what you are doing. Like she said with the numbers, a great percent of the people who are victims of gun violence are under the age of 25.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's hard to prevent something without those who think like those people at the table. You couldn't have something that was directly impacting Black people with an all-white board.
Exactly.
You couldn't have something that was directly
Makes
impacting
sense.
elderly people and everybody at the table was 30 and under.
Yeah.
So you need to have people who are currently in the midst and in the throes of the issues to understand and to help you strategize
So they can
around-
relate.
Yeah, around what you should do. I remember one of the biggest things that we had to, as young people, train the adults on was the power of social media when it came to violence. Like, it's bigger than comment sections. It's stories, it's emojis, it's lingo, it's pictures, it's locations. Like,
Yes.
all of these things are fueling the beef. Like, y'all have to understand these things, and it's not on you guys to have to learn all that stuff. Like, it's a whole different world. So
Yeah,
having
because
young
we already old. We don't got time to be trying to learn nothing new.
Nothing.
Yeah,
new.
No,
So all of that alleviates it. And then young people always bring forth innovation. And
Yes.
so thinking of new and creative ways to approach the issue, and letting young people have the ability to grow and make space in the work. Now that I'm at the adult table now, you know.
Yeah, she had the kitty table.
Yeah. The big people table with the drinks and stuff.
And the steaks and the crab legs.
I
Now
know
that-
that's right.
Now that I'm here, I'm realizing that a lot of the things that young people got penalized for, adults make the same mistakes, but they
What?
get other chances.
I
And-
told you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
I was
You was
telling
like big
you.
grown adults, but big grown adults had the words to cover for themselves.
They do.
Right.
Okay.
You know, they could redeem themselves.
Yeah, so they can cover it up where the kids wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we
Yeah,
just
you know,
messed that up.
yeah,
But you
so
would
when
never know.
We didn't know that no was no, but we can negotiate. We thought no was no. When your
Yeah.
mama tell you no, that's a
That's
no.
it, that's it,
Like,
yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
It's a final answer.
You,
that's
you-
the final
right.
answer.
You didn't know that you can come back and say, well, what about if I do such and such? And then
Yeah.
it'll help us think like, well,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, you can do
Yeah.
that. You just can't do that.
yeah,
That part.
we messed
Yeah.
up with this organization. They told us no. We like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
So like just making sure that if you are to engage in a space, especially in violence prevention and intervention where young people are the victims, you should put them in a space where they're not just victimized. You should put them in a space where they can be
empowered.
effectively empowered and make executive decisions. And that's another lane of violence prevention. Giving kids and young people purpose. Like, if I see that I'm a part of something bigger, I'm less likely to throw my life away because
Right.
I have a reason to live. Like, I have a reason to show up. Like, it's people really depending on me.
Right.
Like, I'm really the voice of something. I'm the director of something. Like
There's
giving
people out here that believe in me.
that believe in me, and I got titles that sound like people believe in me. Like
Right.
being 14 and the director of youth services sounds like something. Like
It does.
I
Yeah.
can't even get into what y'all getting into right now.
Right.
Yeah,
I ain't got
I'm on a whole different level right now.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't do
y'all can
that.
keep the skating ring.
Right,
I'm an executive.
Come on, yeah.
I'm over here doing grown woman things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even care about y'all little fights. Like that's little stuff. I'm
Yeah.
big dog. So yeah.
I mean, like, dog, like y'all still here fighting. Like, I'm over here on with the
whole
governor,
executive.
and y'all over here fighting. I can't be seen with y'all.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it
part.
was bad.
I'm trying to protect y'all life. Right. Put you on. You know? No, but that's real. That's
so
real.
integrating young
But that
people.
makes sense, though. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then, as adults, sometimes, and, and I guess, like you said, you're younger, so you can see, what we need to do. Adults need to aid kids.
Yeah.
But in our generation, when we was growing up, you a kid, you are to be seen but
Yes.
not heard,
That
and you
part.
really
Yes,
shouldn't.
that's
And you
real.
really shouldn't even be seen because you
shouldn't
should be in a
seen.
room
You
with
better
us.
be gone
Yeah,
somewhere.
right. You need to
You better
go
be
outside,
outside.
or either you need to go in your room. You couldn't be sitting at the table.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if your mom or dad and their friends had these big titles or whatever, it didn't matter. Your title was kid,
Yeah.
and you need to be outside or
That's
whatever.
so
So
real.
therefore, when we grew up, it was kind of like the same. It was a little,
Yeah.
you wanted to do a little different, but it's still kind of the same. You not bringing the kids sitting at the table with adults because it's
Yeah.
like, it's adults in here. You don't need to be in here.
Yeah.
So I guess, with you being there at a young age and that your mom had you along with her at a young age, you was able to like redirect her
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because she needed you at that time. So you kind of help
Yeah.
change and
See what
mold
you
her
did,
way
yeah.
of thinking with things. So now that makes sense. Like with me, and and I have like my one of my granddaughters with me. Even still, when I'm doing stuff, I be like, go over there and sit down. You know what I'm saying?
So I
When
am
the
my
whole
go over
time,
there.
I'm like, go over there and sit down.
Old school.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. When actually I should have been like, come over here and sit and talk,
That
whatever,
part.
whatever. But then she has the mindset of, well, she's not gonna say nothing around
Yeah.
now. Me and her around, she probably would say a little something.
Yeah.
So it's like with that, how did you, or what did you need from her? How did it, get you to speak up? Want to speak up or talk
Yeah.
freely.
Hold on, let's talk about social anxiety.
Can you cheer?
She has social
not,
anxiety.
not too much on her right now, but
She about to tell
social
my business.
anxiety. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, this is for anybody, especially young people, because a lot of young people see her and they just be like, okay, she was born with a mic, or she was born to speak,
Right.
Or dang, she ain't never scared, or nothing.
Yeah.
What?
What?
What? My baby had almost debilitating
Like
social
crippling.
anxiety.
Wow.
I mean,
Crippling.
shaking.
Like I used to
crying.
couldn't talk to y'all like without sounding like I was about to cry.
Yeah.
What?
Me couldn't even talk to me without sounding like, people don't know the behind the scenes
Yeah.
work.
The word.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people see the output, what's out there, but they don't know the behind the scene work. Me questioning myself as a mother, like, yo, did I get it wrong because we did lose her dad? Did I not
Push
show
it too
up too much?
fast, yeah.
Like, so I'm questioning myself and my abilities, and
And then coming from a generation like you said, where like mental health and stuff wasn't really talked about.
Right.
I'm telling her, yes, you're doing everything right. It's not you, but she doesn't have the words, and I obviously don't have the words to label it as anxiety. So I'm telling her this, but I'm literally shaking and crying.
yeah.
Like,
Wow.
She like, I be like, what's wrong? Nothing. I be like, what's wrong? She just crying and shaking, and I'm like, I'm looking, I can see you.
I can see those tears, right? Like, I'm looking at you. I see you crying, right?
Oh my God.
Do you feel those tears coming out your face? Like,
and in my mind, I'm getting more anxious because I'm like, I'm not lying.
And
like I'm not lying.
I'm escalating her, and
Right.
because again, we don't
Yeah,
have
really
the
don't.
tools.
Have the tools. That's right.
So that's why I believe in pouring back into people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I believe in educating people that
Yeah.
don't know yet.
That's good. That's
You know what I
good.
mean? But yeah, we didn't have the tools. I didn't have the words. I didn't know what nothing looked like. I didn't even know I was having panic attacks.
Oh my
You know
goodness.
what I mean? So I did because I was shy. That's why I rap. That's one of the main reasons I rap. my cousin got me into rapping, MC Light days, you know what I mean? He grew up Shantae and all that. My oldest cousin, she got me to rapping and everything. But once I was getting respect in the school halls for spitting, I was like, okay. So that was my breakthrough of shyness.
Yeah.
So instead of talking, I rap. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I wasn't the biggest talker in the circle, but I would rap. You know what I mean? When I saw that in her, I did try to write her some rhymes. I told you that earlier, you know what I mean? But that wasn't her thing, you know? So I started getting her into drawing,
Okay.
Gotcha.
journaling. Like I used to buy like journals for her to just, you know, if you got ideas or anything, I don't care what you're thinking about, just write it. I don't got to look at it. Then I got her like drawing pads. If you know, feel away or anything, you know, draw it out. And then at one point, it got serious.
Yep.
And I found a message. I ain't gonna tell too
No,
much.
you good. Nah.
Okay. But I found a suicide note.
Yep.
Wow.
I think she was 10, around 9.
Yeah. I think it was like in 5th grade, 4th or 5th grade.
About 10,
Yeah.
or 11. But in her composition book, she had a note basically writing her to her father saying she wanted to join him, you know, be up there with him. She missed him, you know. And it was, now that I look back at it, yeah, I can see how it was like innocent and lighthearted. But in that moment, I'm like, oh, no, sir, I can't lose you too. And,
Yeah, because
you
it's
know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
it's gonna be ugly.
And I'm like, do she even understand that once you go visit him, you're not coming back into the physical? You know what I mean? So it's in my head like that. So I was working, and the job I was working at, no promotion. So the job I was working at that time, they had an employees program, you know, that provide resources, employee resource program.
Right.
And found a therapist that worked with
So
kids.
it's like an EAP type thing.
Yeah, thank you. It was an EAP type of situation, and found a therapist for her. And it didn't take a whole lot of sessions, but the sessions got her to thinking about what she was going through differently, you know. And it gave us language and tools. So now when we was at home, we knew how to continue and sustain like the treatment and the work. But each growth spurt brought its new challenges, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because she's getting into new environments, and now these kids got dads and father-daughter dances and stuff is bringing on new traumas that she wasn't experiencing at first. But I let her.
Yeah, but like she was saying, when it came to like parenting and stuff, it's a both and thing, and a lot of times I feel like parents take a lot of onus on themselves, and you know, because you don't get a handbook to parent.
No,
She
you
told
don't.
me that, but like you take a lot of onus on yourself, but it is a relationship just like with anything else.
Right.
So as
That's
much
right.
as you're pouring in, we have to pour in too. And with her, I think the biggest thing that really helped me was her transparency on how she came up and how she did things, because it helped me to understand why she parented me in the way that she did.
Right.
And the deficits and the strengths that she had as an adult, as a human first, before she was a parent. And a lot of that helped to like rationalize a lot of things. Like, this isn't a personal attack against me. This is her trying to stop me from being something that she's seen or something like that. And then with my own mental health, because mental health was definitely taboo in our community, especially back then. Now it's a lot more talked about. But back in the early 2000s and stuff like that, it wasn't a large conversation around it. So labeling things as social anxiety or generalized anxiety or depression or PTSD, like, it wasn't a lot of labels for that.
Right.
So it wasn't anything to label what I was feeling other than I'm sensitive, I'm highly sensitive. I cry too much.
Or either you're shy
Yeah,
or
I'm
whatever.
shy.
Yeah.
Timid, yeah, all the type, yeah.
And a
All
lot
those
of that stuff
labels.
was things that people, especially my grandmas, especially my grandparents, it was just stuff like, just talk, like just do it, just go.
I
can see 'em now.
We came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
absolutely true.
It ain't.
And it's like, it ain't that I can't just
You
talk
gotta
or
talk,
just go.
just talk.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Just say it.
No, I'm scared.
Yeah, that right
I'm
there.
nervous. I don't know
What
what
you
to
scared for?
say.
Just talk any other time. But
That.
you're not understanding the trauma that's preventing you from talking.
Yes,
you
that
know?
right there. And so I got my degree in psychology now, so even more now I understand what I was experiencing. And like back in that time, especially when I had wrote that letter, it was like I was 10. I was just now getting into the work for real, so we were kind of finding our footing in that. I was a new big sister. So I had a little sister that was the complete opposite of me, taking up all my space, all my space. So I'm like, I got this little thing that don't shut up. I'm used to my quiet time, like with me, my thoughts, and my TV, and I was cool.
Right.
Now I got this babbling thing that stinks sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a lot going on. Right. And then not knowing how to be a big sister because I was the only child for so long. So I was like, am I doing this right? And then I was a tag student in the talented and gifted programs, and so I switched schools a lot because talented and gifted programs only ran for so many years at certain schools. And that last school I was in, it was a predominantly palm-colored people school, and a lot of them had fathers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, their dads were coming to pick them up. They had daddy-daughter dances, and a lot of them had like fathers that were functioning members of the family. And so I'm like, never knew I needed one of those, but now that I see what they can do, like I don't have mine.
I want one of those.
I want one of those. I want one of those. And so all of those things coming together, and then it was bullying going on because I was one of the only black kids, and I talked like a downtown kid, and I had a very cultural household, so my hair was all nice and thick and 4A, 4B. So
all them curls.
it was just a lot going on, and I'm just like, yo, it would be way easier if I was not here. Like, it would just be way easier. So, I wrote it down, and when I wrote it, I immediately saw the gravity of what I wrote down, and so I actually glued it together.
So I'm being a black mom, yo. So
you glued what together?
I glued the pages together so she couldn't find it because I knew like she read
so you made it like one page,
one thick page. Like I wasn't gonna notice that,
Okay, at the time it made sense.
It made sense. It was that she was just a little nosy. She was a little nosy.
Right?
I had that joint on the light bulb. I'm reading line by line. I said, "Oh my God!" Like it was. Man, yo,
but
like, my nerves up.
But at the time, I was like, I'm just being sensitive. But now that I'm older and got words to it, I was like, I was socially anxious, and I developed
expressing yourself.
And I developed. I was already shy, but I developed more social anxiety from losing so early. So I didn't want to get close to people out of fear of losing something
that was
again.
Another thing.
And then depression. I didn't realize that how the effect that growing up after a disaster occurs, like it would be like somebody growing up in New York post 9/11. Like you never really get to feel what that atmosphere was like before that tragedy. So I never got to know my family before that tragedy. And my dad meant a lot to the entire family. So just looking at like the remnants of my family and how people looked at me because I looked so much like him and all that stuff, I didn't realize how much that played on the psyche until I got way older, like post-degree and stuff like that. So I'm like, all of these things playing subconsciously, I'm not thinking about it as a 10-year-old. Like, why would I? But now I'm like, dang, like I was very depressed. I was very anxious. And those things being put together on top of it, I'm like, mama's doing everything she needs to do. So I really don't know why I am crying or why I'm so nervous or why I'm shaking because she's not doing nothing wrong.
Like, that was like one of my biggest concerns. Like,
and she was like, talking. I was like, I am. I really don't know.
I'm doing the best I can right now.
Like, I didn't want her, like, suppressing pain.
Okay,
and normalizing. Because, again, in our generation, we normalize putting on masks, no matter what's going on at the crib, when we out here.
You couldn't say what was going on. What happens in the house stays in the house.
So, like, we grew, all that played a major role in how I brought her up and everything. So, when she won't telling me what was going on, and I can visibly see that something's going on, it kind of made me like anxious too. Like, like how can I help her? Like, what pain is really down there that I'm not seeing or that I can't address because she's not telling me, you know? Right. And suicide is real, and I did not want to lose again, you know? I couldn't even imagine, you know? So it was just like, parenting her grew me, you know. It matured me, in ways on how I engage in relationships, period. I don't care if it's with a kid, with an intimate partner,
Right.
with my best friend,
Right.
with y'all. You know,
Right.
it's just like partners or business partners or whatever. It's like I handle everybody different.
Right.
I'm going to handle you way different than I'm going to handle Gam. Look, you know, especially once I get to know you.
Right.
So I intentionally understand everybody like they walking fingerprints, and that's how I engage with her. And it came from raising her, and just one
Right.
person.
Yeah.
It was just so dynamic, you know.
Yeah.
And I ain't know what I'm a tomboy. So when I got pregnant, people was laughing at me like, you know, what you gonna do with a baby, you know? Because I'm a tomboy. Right. The first word's gonna be yo, you know. So I remember they used to joke me. I turned out to be good, though. You feel me?
You know what I mean?
Look, she said, yo. But I turned out to be pretty okay, you know,
Right.
and figuring it out because it don't come with manuals.
That's
It
right,
don't.
that's right.
So due to the fact you didn't learn that you had all of these, you know, the anxiety and the depression and all of that, when you was a teenager, you didn't really learn the actual term for it
Yeah.
until you graduated school.
Yep.
How were you on the actual panels? So like when you say you was being invited in high school on the panels,
That's a good
Yes.
question.
how did you handle that?
So, like she said, rapping for my mom and my dad were how they kind of counteracted their shyness. For me, because I was not blessed with that gene, I can't spit a bar to save my life. My thing was academics. Like, I always excelled academically. Like, I was
Yeah.
straight A's all throughout school. Like, always honor scholars and things like that. So with the panels, I leaned on the fact that I was knowledgeable because knowledge was my comfort. Because I knew
Gotcha.
that was the one thing I was confident in. Like, if I don't know nothing else, I know that I'm smart. Like, can't nobody tell me I'm not smart.
I like that. I like that flex.
And then too, you know, if you have it up here, can't nobody take it away from
Yes.
you.
Right.
And
I used to tell you.
she used to say that
What?
all the time. So
Yeah.
Man.
I used to zone in on the fact that you can't take this from me. Like, nobody knows this experience more than I do. Like, nobody
Right.
knows what it's like to lose a parent more than I do. Nobody knows what it's like to feel for your family and the person that took your loved one more than I do. Like, I understood at a young age that, yes, you completely destroyed my family. Like, that's something that cannot be discredited. Like, what you did is irreversible. But, however, Kaaleah, at the same time, I think, and I really do appreciate you for this, still growing up in that same environment, like in the hood still, like still with that connection, it helped me to understand, like, I'm friends with people who are just like the person that took my father. Like, just like spitting images of young men that feel like they need to handle certain situations a certain way
Oh,
in order
yeah.
for people to feel them. Like, and so I realized that I couldn't advocate on the behalf of my peers and still resent the person that took my father. And so,
Good.
like, having these big moments, these aha moments, and continuing to grow my knowledge both academically in school and in the work, it was just like, when I get on these panels, it's like, oh, I got something to say. Like,
Yeah.
I got,
That's
like,
right.
y'all
It
gotta
might hot.
understand. Yeah.
So you weren't nervous and shaking and stuff then?
I was nervous.
Okay.
Don't get me
That
wrong.
little
I
foot
was-
be gone.
You said what?
Her little foot just be shaking.
I got that down, but
She
now I
She'll
do
grab
stuff.
her hand.
I do stuff with my hands, so I still got those nervous triggers. And even when I'm like about to speak and stuff, I'll isolate myself. Like, I'll go sit away from myself and try to get my nerves down because I still hate talking in front of people. But my passion for the work trumped my shyness. So even though I
Gotcha.
did not feel comfortable speaking, I was like, I gotta say this because if I
Yeah.
don't, who will?
will?
And who is
That's right.
advocating on behalf of my friends? And like, when adults say it, they just thinking like, oh, you're just trying to protect your baby. Like, it ain't, you're not really doing it because you understand
Yeah.
what they're doing. You're just trying to protect the young people, or
Yeah.
you know, you're doing it to save face. But when it
Yeah.
comes from us, it's like, I ain't got nobody to protect. Like, you know, friends in this age don't last forever. So
Yeah.
I'm doing this because I really care, and I really want people to understand that what they're doing is bigger than that. It's not because they were born evil. It's because this is a learned behavior. Like, they're learning this is how you handle situations.
That's how
So
you handle conflict.
this is how you handle things. And like she said, not understanding the gravity of death. Like, what does it mean to not be here forever? Like,
Right.
forever. Like, you're taking somebody's baby away forever. When you're
Yes.
young, forever is not a thing. Like, every day is just every day. Like,
Yeah.
we're not thinking past tomorrow. Like, a lot of people weren't thinking they was going to live to be 18, 25 and stuff like that. So what I do today don't have no effect on the future.
Nope.
Yeah.
But it does. And so,
Right.
like, having those conversations. But it was really the fact that I just felt like if I didn't say it, who would? So the shyness going to have to take a back seat, and I'm just going to have to tap this foot.
Yeah, baby, because I'm about to get in roll. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm about to get in driver's seat.
Right.
I ain't riding,
You
I ain't
know-
riding shotgun.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's kind of, and that's kind of different because most people when they're like really shy or nervous or have social anxiety or whatever, and you talking about getting in front of people speaking,
Yes.
when all the attention when you speak, all the attention is on you.
And I hate
That's
being the center of
like,
attention.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
see,
what
me
used to
too.
throw people. That's what used to throw people. They be like, "You shy?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes."
See, people don't believe I'm
Yeah.
shy. And I be telling them all the time, I'm shy.
Either,
That's
yeah.
real.
I am.
I
Like,
prefer
I
the
hate
back.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
prefer
do
the
too.
back. Yeah, I don't mind playing the back.
Now she preferred it back, but we was at breakfast earlier today, and I was telling her
Go ahead,
son
tell
that
on her. Tell on her.
yeah, I'm gonna tell on her. And I was telling her, how you saying you prefer to be not seen? You come to events late, you come to church late, everything is late. When all eyes are on who?
You. Because you leave.
And walk straight up like she right. Like, who does that? Like, what in it? I'm trying to figure that out, but hey, she
But let
she
me
said she
explain.
shy.
Like I
Go ahead,
explained to her and my
explain
son earlier when we went out to eat. This is the reason. So I look at it like this: if I walk into a room and that's my toxic trait that
It
I call
is.
a strength.
Very much
okay,
so.
I should have said that, but no. I look at it like this: when you walk into a room, right, and I'm late. In my mind, people are still doing whatever it is they're doing, so
got
they're
you.
not
Shit, me.
watching me.
Now we watch.
Right?
Sure will.
But in my mind, you're not watching me, so I feel comfortable. I can walk on in and walk straight to the front and walk past the other 500 people.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with that. But if you tell me to get up here and stand right here
Yeah.
and those same 500 people are looking at me, that's the problem I have because now I know
That all
I'm
the
speaking
attention.
and you're actually paying attention
Yeah.
to who's speaking versus walking in.
That's
Because
true.
like I feel like if I'm in a room and someone walk in, I'm not gonna turn to see unless it's like
I don't do that
completely
either.
quietness and you opened the door and it made all this noise.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna look because I need to know whether or not I need to run, dog. I need to know what I need to be doing.
That's real.
But if you come in a room and it's like
An event.
an event,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look and see who's walking in. But if you say okay and you at the mic and it's time to speak, all eyes are on you now. So
Yeah.
to me, that's different. So I can't do that part.
Now, as somebody that had to unlearn being habitually late, because when it comes to like parties and campuses and stuff, it's okay to arrive fashionably late. It's,
Right.
it's preferred. 'Cause
Yeah.
you get to scope the scenery out.
Right.
And see who all in there.
Right.
And see if you really gonna stay.
Right, exactly. I need to know what they doing.
Yeah.
Okay, is something going to pop out before I go in? Do I
That
need to
part.
turn around? Yeah.
Yes, but being the first person there and watching everybody walk in, that
And then,
don't-
and I'd be like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
mind
really
being
get there
at
early.
certain events late. And then,
I get places
even, yeah, I don't
Because
mind
walking
being
in with
at
somebody there
certain.
is like walking the Green Mile.
yeah.
See, and I'd be
being
like,
there
I don't
early.
need to be at church early. I'm not the one preaching.
Yeah, but I want to be there for praise and worship.
I'm not the one singing.
I got to get my seat.
I'm not the
Yeah,
one
nah,
singing.
for real.
I'm gonna go and get my seat. I'm not the one singing. If they had to pull out a chair, that's fine. So one
no
day I
way.
was real late and church was real packed. It was so packed they already had all the extra seats lined up against the wall. They had to take the seat all the way to in front of the pastor at the pulpit and line it up there. And I had to walk all the way up there.
I would
to
have
sit
left
down
out
in the
soon.
seat.
I would have called it online.
And they were
Right.
walking with the chair. They was like, "Come on!" They grabbed it.
And she walking there shaking this, shaking this. I
But you
would've
was in the
died.
right place. You was in the house of the
Right.
Lord.
I guess they said, "Look, you this late. You need to sit
Yeah,
right
sit
here,
right here.
right here."
Because you don't know how to act.
Right, exactly.
I was like, and I walked on up there, and I was like, I did feel a little uncomfortable. Then.
no,
I was
you.
like,
I know you. You probably felt like you were important.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know you.
I'm up here
That's
in the
it.
top.
Unlike she Michelle Obama or
I'm sitting up
somebody.
here. Look, I was sitting in front of the first lady, like she
feel
right
me?
there, I'm right there.
See? She
Ain't
trying to
no
flex,
way.
yeah.
Right. Ain't no way.
So that might be my toxic trait that I make a strength. Oh, okay.
So, what's next for you guys?
What's next? Professionalizing our knowledge.
Yes.
And being a resource and a consultancy to other nonprofits that's getting into
Hold
community-based
on, 3.
public safety.
Hold on. You got it on me.
What in the world?
All right, so I'm gonna keep what's next. So I'm gonna count down. Then you come back in. 3, 2, 1.
So what's next is professionalizing our subject matter expertise. All of the knowledge we gained over the years that is complementary to our lived experience, and being able to pour into and educate like the next organizations that's trying to get into community-based public safety work, helping them avoid the little pitfalls and the missteps that we came across. And then that way they can be more efficient and effective at actually executing the work, what it is their mission and vision statements are. But going into a consultancy lane.
Yeah, and kind of to what she said, really professionalizing this degree in this space, and really using it to help advocate for the public health approach, labeling youth behavior as what it is and not just the slang that we use. So instead of a young person crashing out or tweaking or all the slang that we use, labeling it as the chemical imbalance that it is, as the expression of adverse childhood experiences, and just labeling it with the proper terms so that we can get the proper support for them.
Right.
And explaining gun violence as an epidemiology type of problem and not just a public safety arrest your way out of it type of problem. Putting the professional big people words on it so that people
Like you've been
understand
doing all day, girl. You've been using it. I'm like, okay.
Yes, using this degree and this.
I know that's right.
For something.
That's right.
But yes, just making sure that we're actually talking about it as what it is and not just as how people see it.
Right.
And professionalizing
And
in that lane.
And I think that's a great idea too. And it makes sense what you said earlier when you were saying, instead of just saying, oh, is this, is that, get down to what's the real cause. It's a mental behavior. That for someone to want to think that, oh, I can go shoot you, oh, you'll be all right, or you might come back, or
you're not
whatever.
thinking about the immediate consequences.
Right, you're not thinking about it at all, and you're not thinking about like this, once you do it, this is forever.
Yes.
Forever.
You know, it's not like you on a game and you buy some more points or whatever you buy on the game. And you know,
pack.
right.
No.
It's not
forever.
not that. It's
Not
forever.
that. Like she said, it's 23. It's gonna be 23 in December. It's 23 years later. My daddy still ain't walked through that door. Like,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's still graduations he ain't attend, and it's still things he's never going to see just because of one person's decision 23 years ago.
So let me ask you this in reference to that one person. I know you said you forgave them. You're not holding a grudge. Have you met that person or seen that person?
Nope.
Are they still locked up?
Not for
Oh, not for that.
not for that.
But you know who they are.
Yes.
You know who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you know who they are too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I never seen I never like seen that person,
In
like,
person.
you know what I mean? But even then, still, I think that trying to make closure with a ghost essentially is like a hard thing, because you really don't know how they felt about the thing. You don't know if they're remorseful, and even if they're not remorseful, making peace with them not being remorseful. And I feel like that's another thing that I also had to come to terms with. Like, this is my dad, like not his. This was my mom's fiance, not his. This was my grandma's only son,
Not his. Right.
So yes, it's crazy that it happened, but he's not entitled to care. Like this wasn't his life that he ruined, and yes, it would help us heal if he was empathic about it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just not his responsibility. Like, there's other people who have passed away that have no impact on my life, and that doesn't mean that the grief isn't real for their family, but it's really not their responsibility to care.
Right.
And as a young person, as hard as it was, because I'm like, yo, like, you really ruined my life before it began.
Exactly.
As hard as it was like, at the end of the day, it won't his dad, like, it won't his people. So whether he fell away or not, I cannot give him that responsibility. Like, it's not his.
And you don't want to give nobody that much power and control over you for life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing.
Because because grief is a life sentence.
It is.
You know, it never turns off. It's just every season you enter, you find a new ways to manage it.
Yes.
You know, and
A new bucket of what ifs.
Yeah.
A new
Exactly.
bucket of what ifs, and holding on to the anger.
Mm-hmm.
So every
eat
time,
you up.
yeah, then the person you lost starts fading into the background because you're so busy resenting the person.
The person that did it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
So it's complex.
it really
Yeah.
is.
And
It
that's
really
interesting. You say it's a life sentence, but the person who caused your grief, you know, he might get a sentence for whatever, and then he going about his business, or he's
But
still in there.
it's a life sentence because what I have heard is that you do not unsee your victim's
Nope.
face.
You don't.
So
That's what they say.
They can go around and act like
And
they
then
normal.
right. Then they're gonna remember that too, what
Yeah.
they did. So even if it don't affect them directly, it's gonna affect them some kind of
Yeah,
way
that
mentally.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this is a part of our episode.
Oh, this is one more thing about intervention and prevention.
Oh, yeah, go
There's
ahead.
one more thing I had to lift up is with prevention, a lot of the organizations and a lot of the programs, you know, work in direct partnership with police.
Okay.
With intervention,
big.
we don't work in direct partnership with police, but we do have a professional understanding of police role in traditional public safety.
Yeah.
And if you're doing intervention work intentionally, you should meet with your police department in your city, let them know about your program, let them understand about your protocols, and then they can have a professional understanding about what you and your team is set to do out in the community when it comes to crisis intervention or violence intervention work. So the strategies are complementary in the intervention space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So true intervention programs reduce the collateral damage of incarceration.
Yes.
So we're right before incarceration. So you got prevention. Then if prevention don't work, then it's intervention.
Right.
Now we can't intervene and get you to get right and turn your life around and what you doing around. Then you go on in enforcement, and then after enforcement, more than likely you're gonna be incarcerated. But then that's reentry.
Yeah.
That's when you get
So
reentry back in
basically,
society.
intervention is the cushion
between
the
enforcement and prevention.
Yes. And the police should know that you exist so that they don't lump you up when it comes to an incident.
Yeah.
Because intervention, you literally are intervening. So a lot of times we come in after an event occurs or as a fight is breaking out and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So they should know, like, oh, you see these hoodies, don't arrest them. They're not part of the issue.
Right.
But that should be as far as it goes. There's no collaboration. There's no partnership. Like all those words, no, nah.
And our role isn't to be investigators. If we have knowledge, it's just knowledge that we have to work on preventing future retaliation or future incidents of violence. But our role as intervention organizations is not to be investigators, but it's to stabilize the crisis. It's to connect to resources. It's to help these families and these individuals begin their healing journeys after a situation takes place. So, yeah, we're after someone is discharged from the hospital, you come into our program. Or you being released or at home on an ankle monitor or something like that. A lot of times you're referred to our program for that additional life coaching and mentorship. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Oh,
That's some food for thought.
it is.
Yeah.
Let's go get him. You got some wrapped up in there. You was,
I'm sorry.
She did.
My bad.
She did like
Yes, I was like, just thinking.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
thinking because, yeah. Okay, so this is the part of the episode. It's catch of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, both of
So-
them get catcher today.
Huh?
They both of them get catcher today. Or just
Yeah, I'm
one?
gonna let both of them get catch of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, this week in a double meal. This a 2 for 1. Okay, so shake it, open the box,
Okay.
pull out your question, and read your question out, and then answer.
It's cute box.
It is a cute
Oh,
one.
they got mad stuff here.
Y'all got mad.
Alright. I feel like the fortune cookies. Ooh, Jesus. Alright. If you could take one person's advice for the rest of your life, who would it be? If I could take one person's advice for the rest of my life and hope that they give me the right advice, it would be her. It would be my mama. It would be my mama. She ain't letting me wrong so far. So,
Okay.
you know, but
I
yeah.
be trying. All right. What's one hill you're willing to die on that makes other people look at you sideways? What's one hill I'm willing to die on that makes other people look at me sideways?
I'll give you an example. mangoes are the mustiest fruit to ever come across human existence. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. I'll
I
down
love
the
me a
head.
good mango. Ain't no
nasty.
wrong with the mango. Yeah, that the Giants is the best football team in the NFL football league.
And that's why y'all sit home on the couch with everybody else.
Hey, let's be clear. It's a whole lot of sports betting apps that don't want us to see be great. So the house always win in Vegas. Because who in the
That's why I
world
said
say
it has to be.
Indianapolis and the Seahawks like
Yeah.
when has that ever happened? I was like,
That's why I said
what's
it has to be. Somebody's paying somebody.
Man.
This is like rigged.
Yeah, Vegas ain't trying to lose, and they knew we had the Eagles going
Yeah.
to the Super Bowl, and I don't even know that many people doing Super Bowl parties. You
Yeah.
don't? You throwing a Super Bowl party? You throwing a
I'm
Super
going
Bowl
home
party?
and twiddle my. Y'all already know,
You
twiddle my toes.
You go, I want to twiddle toes.
If you are having
I
a Super
twiddle
Bowl
toes,
party,
too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And I have fun.
I just need some good rotel dip.
Absolutely.
I just need some good rotel dip. So if anybody's out there having a Super Bowl party specifically with some rotel dip,
Help her, Lord. Help her,
Hit you
Lord.
up.
hit you up.
But thank y'all. This was
Yes, this was
nice.
amazing.
This was
No
good.